Hey there, it's CJ Willie, and I'm cracking a pack. Today I have in front of me a Zendikar Rising set booster pack. So far I've opened 2 of these. Will I continue my theme of getting the usual set booster pack of 5 commons, 1 uncommon, a rare, and a common foil? Will it be 3 packs in a row? Or will I get something really awesome out of the pack? Let's get to cracking this pack. So far I've only been able to do a couple of drafts. I also haven't been able to pick up my bundle. Eventually I'll be able to do my pack 1 pick 1 with Zendikar Rising. First card out of the pack is the art Tajiro Beacon of Unity. I've opened 3 of these, and this is the second Tajiro art card. Then I have a swamp. Full arts are awesome, I like them. First card out of the pack is Utility Knife, 1 generic. Artifact equipment, when Utility Knife enters the battlefield, attach it to target creature you control. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. Equip cost for 3 generic. I like that the equipments in this set, when they enter the battlefield, attach to a creature. I really think that that should be the case for all artifacts going forward. Really, the cost adjustment should be the equip cost. Adventure Awaits, 2 mana, 1 and a green, sorcery. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. If you didn't, put a card into your hand this way, draw a card. I would like this effect a little bit more if I could grab a land or a creature. Only being able to grab a creature in a landfall set is a little bit of a drawback. Spare Supplies, 2 generic mana artifacts. Spare Supplies enters the battlefield tapped. When Spare Supplies enters the battlefield, draw a card. Pay 2 generic, tap it, sacrifice Spare Supplies, draw a card. Essentially for 4 mana you're drawing 2 cards, although spread over a couple of turns. I've wanted to play this card in draft, yet every time that I've had it in my draft pool, I've cut it. Deliberate, 2 mana, 1 and a blue, instant, scry 2, then draw a card. This seems to be a little overcosted, 2 mana for a single card. Although you do get a scry 2, I haven't had an opportunity to play with it too much yet, trying to figure out how good the card is. Jiraga Visionary, 4 mana, 3 and a green, elf wizard at 3/2. When Jiraga Visionary enters the battlefield, draw a card. This is okay. It's not as good as Elvish Visionary or Llanowar Visionary that was in Core Set 2021. A 3/2 body for 4, drawing a card. I think it's a little too late in the game. That's why I prefer the other 2. They come down earlier in the game. Spring Mantle Cleric, 5 mana, 4 and a green, elf cleric at 2/3. Spring Mantle Cleric enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each color of mana spent to cast it. In most decks, this is going to end up being a 4/5, which I think at uncommon is a little below the vanilla test. If you're in a 3-color deck in draft, which can be done, there's a chance that this comes out as a 5/6 for 5, which is a little bit better. I don't think it's a great uncommon. Next up is Song Mad Treachery, 5 mana, 3 and 2 red, sorcery. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste until end of turn. This is one of our modal double-faced cards. On the front side you have your threaten effect. 5 mana for a threaten effect is a little steep, but having the added advantage to play a land if you need it makes the card bearable. And in limited, it's not too bad of a card. If you play it right, you grab their bomb or their only blocker, and you can get in for the win. On the flip side, it's Song Mad Ruins, enters the battlefield tapped, and you can add red to your mana pool. Dauntless Unity, 2 mana, 1 and a white, instant. It also has Kicker for 1 and a white. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. If this spell was kicked, those creatures get +2/+1 until end of turn. I like Dauntless Unity as a combat trick. I think it's going to take your opponent by surprise, either take out a lot of their creatures, or if they choose not to block, get in a lot of damage. Next up is Taunting Arbor Mage, 3 mana, 2 and a green, elf wizard. At 2/3, it has Kicker for 3 generic mana. When Taunting Arbor Mage enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, all creatures able to block target creature this turn do so. I think this is a pretty cool effect. It's got lure stapled onto it. You can play it later in the game, swing in for an all-in attack, have your opponent's creatures block your 1/1 or your 2/2. The rest of your creatures get in for the victory. Okay, will we get an awesome rare or a mythic rare? We have Tajiro Paragon, 2 mana, 1 and a green elf at 3/2. Tajiro Paragon is also a cleric, rogue, warrior, and wizard. Kicker, 3 generic mana. When Tajiro Paragon enters the battlefield, if it was kick, reveal the top 6 cards of your library. You may put a card that shares a creature type with it from among them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. For 2 mana and a 3/2, early on in the game, I think it's perfectly fine. Having all the relevant party mechanic creature types is pretty good. If you're able to play it later in the game for 5 mana and kick it, because it's got all those creature types, more than likely you're going to be able to have another card in your hand that you can play possibly on your next turn. And then our foil, is it going to be our typical common foil? Yep. Angel Heart Protector, 3 mana, 2 and a white, human cleric at 3/2. When Angel Heart Protector enters the battlefield, target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn. Having this come down, giving one of my bigger creatures indestructible, going in for the attack, forces my opponent to be in kind of an awkward spot. Do they block it to save the damage? Do they let it go through and live in fear of a combat trick that I may have? And then, oh, cool. I got one of the cards from the list. So Keeper of the Nine Gales, 3 mana, 2 and a blue. Bird Wizard at 1/2. It's a flyer. You can tap it and tap 2 untapped birds you control. Return target permanent to its owner's hand. I've never ever played with this card. It seems to be right down my alley. White-blue flyers deck. Best card or favorite card out of the pack for me is going to be Taunting Arbor Mage. I think it's a pretty good trick to play in draft. In a green deck, I'm going to have a lot of big beefies. If I haven't been able to deal the last points of damage, later in the game playing Taunting Arbor Mage, making all my opponent's creatures block an insignificant creature is going to assure the victory. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like it, please subscribe and share. Take some time to tell me in the comment section what was your favorite card or best card of the pack. Until next time when I'm back to crack my next booster pack of Magic the Gathering.